This is probably the simplest bench dog that you could ever build. It's just made out of some scrap plywood and a 3/4 inch dowel. But how it works is it just kind of pops in there. You take whatever piece of wood you're using and brace it up against there, and then you can hand plane against it. Now, as you can see, I don't have anything on the back, no tail vise or anything like that, so I'm figuring something out with that, and that is the reason for the offset. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to make the simplest bench dog ever. As you can see, this dowel is offset. It is centered at 1.5 inches from this edge, and my piece is 5.5 inches wide, and that gives a lot of surface for if you're planing boards. You can really have a lot of surface to work off of instead of just like a 3/4 inch dowel. So this section's already been cut to 5.5 inches, so I will just make another center mark at 2 3/4, and that is where I will drill my 3/4 inch hole. The width of it is 4 inches, and that is very specific because I can rotate it, and if it's just a little bit short from being this end, I can spin it around and it'll cover even more. After you've gotten your marks all set up, you can go ahead and get it either clamped down, or I'm using my hold fast with a backer board. The backer board is very important because you don't want tear out on the back side of this piece of wood. So now I'll just start going and drilling a 3/4 inch hole to match the dowel that we're going to put in. As you can see, very clean hole with the hand brace on both ends. So now I will go ahead and cut that line. After you've gotten your piece cut and the hole drilled, it's time to go ahead and cut the dowel to the correct depth for your dog holes. And my bench is 3.5 inches. I'm using a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. So I'm just going to do 4 1/4 inch length for this dowel to give me a little bit extra room underneath the bench to push it up, or do whatever. So I've got that. I'm bracing it up against this little backstop here, and I'm just going to cut it out. Now I'm just going to be adding a tad bit of glue around the edge of the top of the dowel, and I'll just take my piece and a mallet and give it a few light taps to go in that hole. It'll go in there straight. There we go. And a good way to make sure that it is all nice and even, because sometimes this isn't quite lined up with your hole, or something might be a little bit off. So stick it in your dog hole. Just take your mallet and give your piece of plywood a few taps, and that'll actually flatten it out to however your angle of your dowel is compared to your dog hole. And then you can just wipe off the excess glue around both pieces, and you have the simplest bench dog ever. Thanks for joining me today on building the simplest bench dogs ever. Keep an eye out for another video on making a more traditional style bench dog. They usually include just a dowel with a notch on them that just kind of is in a spring, and you can kind of adjust them better. You guys can also make these with different thickness of the plywood or hardwood, whatever you guys choose to use. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like button and share it around on all the social media websites out there. And if you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Each and every subscription helps, and I appreciate each and every one of them. And stay tuned for more woodworking and blacksmithing videos.